Completely different looking cast of characters in Chicago. Yes, Jimmy Butler is still there, but the guys around him, at least on the wing, will be Rajon Rondo and hometowner Dwyane Wade. Whoever envisioned Wade ever leaving the Miami Heat, but it happened, and he is back where it all began for him in Chicago. D. Wade with our Steve Ashburner.
Let's just start off right away. I mean, that changed, the fact that you're here in Chicago after 13 years of spending this day and getting prepped for a season in Miami.
Yeah.
How different is it for you?
I'm like the new kid in class. You know, I feel like my kids probably feel it's going to a new school. You know, you're trying to find, you know, your place. But because basketball hasn't started yet. When you get on that court, it's basketball. And you get out of it and you do what you have to do as a leader. But right now, I feel like the new kid around here, man.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's 6 years since you first flirted with coming to Chicago as a free agent back in 2010.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people excited to see Dwyane Wade on that Bulls team. What can people expect in terms of what you bring now, 6 years later, to this particular squad?
Well, I mean, you know, my leadership obviously is very important for this team. My experience, you know, of playing, you know, in the NBA 13 years, been in 5 finals along the way, and so forth and so on. But, you know, from the standpoint of, you know, my play, I've always been a guy who always try to help make his teammates better on the court. And, you know, I've been lucky enough to be around for a while where I can still put the ball in the basket as well. You know, just like last year, I just coming out looking to have a successful season. And for me, a successful season is staying injury-free and winning ball games. You know, everything else take care of itself.
You mentioned the injury-free. 74 games last year, the most you'd played in about five years.
Yeah.
How much was that due to a change in routine between the games and heading into the season, as opposed to maybe a change that was noticeable on the floor?
Well, the first part of it is luck. You know, players don't never want to get injured. You know, you never want to have to, you know, miss games. You know, I want to be out there every day, you know, that I can. So you have to get a little lucky, you know, at times. As well, you try to, you know, in the summertime, what you try to do is you try to train your body to be prepared for what a season can take on and what your body can take from it. So I thought I did a good job of that. I thought I did a great job of taking care of my body in season, which is going to be very important with me. And Rondo has been, you know, the 30 club around this team has been already talking about. But outside of that, man, you just got to be a little lucky.
Yeah. So there's a little element of fluke to it, but you have to do all the prep work.
Yeah, you have to do all the prep work. You have to take care of your body. You have to learn your body. You know, you have to know what, you know, what can help you. You know, when you have certain things to, you know, don't let small things become big things, etc. But, you know, outside of that, when you're on that court, man, we play such a physical sport that at any given moment, you know, that anybody can get injured and miss time. So when guys don't, you know, it's not because, you know, they're doing something so spectacular. It's just being lucky, man. And, you know, it's a gift if you're able to be out on that court, you know, for, obviously, for me, 74 games last year, but, you know, even more.
One of the big basketball questions for this new crew is you've got yourself, you've got Jimmy Butler, you've got Rajon Rondo.
Yeah.
Ball-centric players, if not ball-dominant. Is there enough basketball to go around, and how do you blend what each of you guys does best?
Yeah, I mean, that question is always asked for every team, right? You know, and I think, you know, it's all about, you know, the mindset of the guys. You know, if your goal is to win games, your goal is to compete for championships, you do what you have to do. And, I mean, that's, you know, that's what we did in Miami. We had the same thing. We had guys that, you know, on their respective teams before we came together, we dominated the ball. Just in different ways. And so it's the same thing here, man. We have to figure it out together as a unit. If we want to win, if we want to be successful, then we have to play successful basketball, and that's team basketball. And, you know, if we do that, we'll be fine.
Jimmy, his game has been growing the last few years, really since he got to the league. Last year he tried to assert leadership on this squad, mixed results. Now, with a couple of veterans like you and Rajon, both you guys have said this is Jimmy's team. Why is that important, and how does it show itself in the course of the season?
Well, he's you know, Jimmy's 26 years old. He's in his prime of his career. You know, it would be foolish for me and Rondo to come here and say it's our team. You know, obviously we all have to do our part, but we're going to count on him to, you know, be that bull. You know, be the guy that, you know, for the bulk of the minutes, majority of the game, do what he does. And you know, I know how to play with players of all different kinds. Of styles, and I will play around him, and I will learn how to play. I don't want him to think. I want him to play. I don't want them thinking, hey, D-Wade need the ball, hey, Rondo. Just want Jimmy to be Jimmy. He's an all-star in this league. He's a guy that, his potential, I think it's like, as we all have seen every year, he's been surpassing what we all thought, he was going to be at that season. And we want to continue that mindset. So me and Rondo are veterans in this league, and, we'll figure out how to make sure that we're successful and our teammates are successful.
There are people, I'm sure, that follow the NBA, and they're still getting used to seeing you walking around in Doug McDermott's number. For people that think of you as a Miami player and the face of that franchise and Miami sports in general, some wonder if there'd been another week to go in negotiations, you might have ended up back there. What do you say to the people that think that this was just sort of an emotional, quick, impromptu kind of a deal-making, and that maybe some of your heart is going to be back there?
I don't really concern myself with people like that. Whoever, all of us are. We have opinions, and that's fine. My goal and my focus is where I'm at today, and what I have to do for this organization, this team. So I'm excited to be here. So whether they're not excited for me to be here, that's on them. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to go on this journey. This is where I, first envisioned, ever playing. When I picked up a basketball, many years ago. I'm just looking forward to everything.
Part of you being here, like it or not, is what this might mean, or the opportunities, or some of the challenges off the court. You heard, growing up here in Chicago.
Yes.
We're a month removed from your cousin tragically being killed in a shooting in this city. You've taken an interest in what's going on the streets of Chicago. How much can you realistically devote yourself to things like that during the course of a basketball season? And where would you look to begin to see some progress?
Well, I think the biggest thing, and I always say this, is it's not about what I would do. It's about what we want to do as a community, as we want to do as a city and a state. How much can we all do together? I have a voice, I have a platform. I'm willing to use my voice and platform. I have a foundation, that I'm willing to use. But I can't be on the ground every day. I can't be on the streets every day. I have people in my foundation that I trust is going to do a good job for the things that we do. But it's other things that needs to be done, and it needs to be done by more numbers of people. Strength in numbers is key here in Chicago. I think a lot of people's goals are the same. Everyone wants to do good. Everyone wants to give back, but everyone is doing it individually, and that's great. But how can we do it? How can we do it together a little more and really make a bigger impact?
You take it pretty personally that this city is dragging around that reputation and ongoing day after day. There's still these issues. Yeah,
man. Chicago's a beautiful city. It's one of the best places that I've ever been. Around the world. I mean, I've been lucky enough to grow up here, but this is like one of those cities that you talk to anybody around the world, they want to visit Chicago one day, and right now it has a black eye. And people have this perception about coming to Chicago that if you step off the plane, that your life is going to end, and it's not that. Obviously we have our challenges, but as you see around the world today, everyone have their challenges. Do I think Chicago needs a little bit more focus and attention right now? Yes, I think we need that. But we're all having challenges everywhere.
Have a good year on and off.
Will do.
All right,
Will
thanks.
Do.
The more Marquette, the merrier.
For sure. I like that. I like that.
Great.
Much appreciated.
Thanks, Dwyane.
Thank you.